Now, moving on here, news hitting the headlines this week suggests that football as we know it could change as the Premier League matches could be staged abroad, a concept that was suggested back in 2008 that was met with fierce criticism. Now, can you extend on this?
Well, I mean, yeah, in 2008, it's a bit different this time because in 2008 it was called the 39th game, and it was an extra fixture in the fixture list being played somewhere, wherever it is in the world, somewhere where they'll get lots of money, obviously. Now the idea this time seems to be that just one of the weekends, so one of the 38 game weeks, is taken out and played somewhere else. Now, there's anyone who follows the sport of rugby league in the north of England, they do this. They have one set of fixtures that is played in one stadium. Now, it's not taken abroad, because obviously no one would watch it abroad. It's not that big a game, but they play one set of fixtures in one stadium. So they'll play it at the Millennium Stadium, for instance, for the weekend, or they'll play it in Murrayfield up in Scotland. And so there's 8 games across the whole weekend. It's been going on for a few years. Fans love it. It's great. I guess that's the same kind of thing here. You take it abroad, where I think it was 2 billion was generated in some of the TV revenue away from the UK. It's just an incredible amount of money. I mean, you see the crowd watching Real Madrid, Manchester United, a record for a crowd in the USA. I think it was 101,000 people, 103,000 people. I mean, that's just astonishing.
Yeah.
So if you can take a full weekend of Premier League fixtures to the States and play them, whether it's in one city or it's across a few cities, personally, I think, what's the problem? I think fans of the clubs would say, well, hang on a minute, we want to watch our team in Birmingham or in Manchester or in Liverpool or in London, wherever they're based. Mm-hmm. Why should our team be going away? We'll miss the game.
Well, yeah.
I guess the Premier League say, well, tough, it's all about money.
Well, exactly. that's what it is, isn't it? It's the fans here that's saying no. Don't take our club over abroad. But then does it boil down to, is it just money? Are we trying to spread sort of football, say, over to the States where it's not as popular? Or does it just all boil down to money?
Yeah, I think it pretty much boils down to money. I mean, you can spread the game, but it's not like it really needs spreading, I suppose. I mean, it's well known. It must be the most watched league in the world. So it's not like the brand needs to be brought to people's attention. I think what it would mean, especially to a US audience, is being able to see these players right in front of you would be special for them, and it would be a great thing to take to a foreign crowd, obviously. I suppose it depends. I mean, I can see the USA. That seems a very sensible thing to do. But then what if the next year it's Dubai and the crowds aren't quite as good, or it's not a particularly appreciative football crowd, it's just a corporate crowd who want to see it because it is the Premier League? Is that right? I mean, I'm not sure if that really works. If it was a genuine crowd who wanted to see these games, I'd say that's absolutely fine. When I was in Brazil in the summer, you spoke to US football fans, as in US soccer fans, as they would call it, and they didn't. I would ask them, "Who's your MLS team?" They didn't really have one. Mm-hmm. They would be like, "Oh no, I'm a Chelsea fan." So they watched English football rather than watching MLS. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. I think there would be a massive demand for it, just as when the NFL comes to London. It's in London 3 times this season in the NFL. It's a sellout because we don't get a chance to see the NFL live here. So when you do get that opportunity, I think it would be a fantastic success when it was in America, say, for instance. But I look, personally, I haven't got a massive problem with it, but then I'm not a fan of any Premier League team. So maybe if I was a fan of, say, Stoke City, I would be a bit disgruntled. I don't know. I don't really know. I think they're just making an argument out of nothing, really. And I think it'll happen eventually. I think the money's there to make it happen. And there'll be, I think the players will quite enjoy it. I mean, if you look at this week, for instance, perfect week, international week, you could probably get the internationals out of the way, and then the players then make their way to a foreign, wherever it is, make their way to the foreign place, wherever it is. I mean, you think about the amount of South American players in the Premier League. Well, it'd be easier for them just to fly to the States rather than having to come all the way back to the UK and get back on late Friday, for instance, and then have to play on the weekend. It'd probably be easier for some of the Premier League players to do that anyway. Mm-hmm.
The SBR network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.